Alright guys, today's video is entitled Food Plot Explosion. Things are vastly different than they was in February. Matter of fact, things are vastly different since I did boron treatment out here in section 1. Things are erupting very rapidly, and now we're about to get a really good rain, and this is going to take off even faster. This is looking really good. This is probably my best start in the history of my food plotting when it comes to my first year in restoring soil. This will definitely speed up my timeline because I'm creating monstrous amounts of biomass. It's already on a better pace than my summer blend was. So over here we have section 3 for the new people. I have not put any fertilizer in there yet, and it's growing good to great. There's a couple of spots in there that's lacking, but I'm allowing biomass to help fix a lot of those issues. And of course I did put a boron treatment in there. Here has 30 pounds of fertilizer. That's it. That's all I've used. Didn't even make it to the 50 mark, and there's probably just a couple of spots where I think it would have been more beneficial to throw out another 10 to 15 pounds, mainly right in here. But I'm not going to complain at all about that. I can still put fertilizer in here. It's no big deal. But turnips, look at how much seed this turnip plant is trying to produce now. There's your pods. Oops. So there's your individual pods. They will get quite a bit larger than this when they fill out. So don't panic. If you're trying to do crimping methods, you can still wait. You got plenty of time here. I would not wait on that, or I would wait on that. Don't rush it. Cereal rye is heading out quickly now. At least most of it is. There's some of it that isn't quite at that stage yet. So you can see some of the cereal rye heads there. This turnip right here is probably the widest turnip I have ever grown here. I mean, you're looking at something that's nearly 5 feet wide. At the very least 4.5. He didn't grow as tall as a lot of my others, even though he is getting taller. Probably going to top out around, I don't know, maybe 5 if I'm lucky. Maybe 4.5 to 5. But these others, here's another one that's doing extremely well. Look at all the biomass I am creating for my soil. This is big time compared to what I was doing in the past. So over here we have a very rapid pace of crimson clover. You can see it blowing up all inside here. Every species in here is doing extremely well, other than the fact there are some weak pockets that are just typical problems I find when poor soil's around, but eventually it'll go away. I mean, look at that. My protein levels are way higher now than they was just 2 weeks ago. It's changing that rapidly, and this will get faster and faster, or more consistently faster, as my soil continues to get better. That's just where patience has to take its time for your food plot in order to get it better. Follow some of these old walking paths I've done here. So down here, this is a spot I said would definitely grow really thick, and we are doing that very, very quickly. You can see more seed heads coming out. This will continue to get taller and probably will be taller than me. I would say this might push 6.5 feet. It's going to be close. But I really like what I'm seeing here. Now, as far as leaf sizes for clover, as your food plots get better, you're going to realize that leaf sizes will continue to get better. Look at how beautiful and green that looks now. That is really pumping some protein. I've had leaves wider than my hand in here before. Not in section 1, but in the other sections as I was working on doing restoring methods in my food plots. That one there's still growing. He's going to be a big one. This is all working out great. You can see how all these species are just growing very nicely with each other. There's no real one dominant species, even though your rye is going to look dominant, but when you look down, that's everywhere. That's how I wanted this to pan out. So here is the start of section 3, which is that really nice growing line, and it is taking off like crazy, really thick and bushy. Loving it. Even down here we have good sized clover leaves. Nothing looks shriveled, so I think we've done a good job here. Section 3 right here, no fertilizer except for boron treatment. And the only thing I will say is I'm constantly looking for ways to fine-tune my methods. I wished that I had went ahead and set boron out in February and not in March. There was more growth occurring. Sorry for the gunshots. Turkey season is going at it. But we got some people practicing for this weekend, most likely. But the growth down here is exceptionally good with no fertilizer. Now I could throw fertilizer on here and force it to grow like this, but as each year goes by, this spot here is looking more and more like this without fertilizer. So just like in the section 1, I've got plenty of clover underneath all this. It's a multi-layered food plot. I've got winter peas at different levels, clovers at different levels. There's turnips growing up here. Matter of fact, I see a deer bed right over here. Yep. Here's a deer bed. Somebody camped out here last night because this was not here the other day. So that's good. Really good growth here. Now the only thing I would say is like right here in this spot, germination rates are lower here. There's a lot of rocks in this spot. And I should have thrown out probably another 5 or 6 solid handfuls of my mix in here, and this would have looked a lot better. But that's okay. I know there's no issue with the soil per se. It's just rocks that I may have to clean out. But everything's looking great. I mean, can't complain. So let's go up here to section 2 real quick. As I'm trying to continue, I got another groundhog in here. I'm going to set a trap out and take care of him. And section 2, I think is extremely close to no fertilizer whatsoever, other than maybe a boron treatment. The only spot that I see that really needs it is right here. It's got a little bit of weak growth compared to the rest of the section. I mean, that out there is looking far better than where I'm standing. So I think this maybe 20-foot area right here, if I throw about 10 pounds on it, it ought to take off and do all right. So hopefully that'll be the last treatment for that part of the ground. And of course, anytime I can do soil improvements, more than happy to do it. Up here, good growth, considering I know how many rocks is in this. This is fantastic growth. Now, section 1. Section 1 got 70 pounds of fertilizer slapped on it. And that's why it's greener than 2. You can see here, this is purple or red top clover growing really big clover leaves now. This is my late browsing plant for the year. I need some more of that. I've actually got a good portion of it mixed in right here. But this is dynamite compared to what I was getting. In the past, this part of the ground was so bad. I don't think we ever really had to bush hog this spot, but maybe once a year. Maybe. Beforehand. So what happens when I step out of the plot is we get right back into ugly soil. See? And I had to put fertilizer through here to get it to green up so the fruit trees will grow better. But that's bad soil, really bad soil, versus here growing way better. This right here is nice, beautiful carpet, best it's ever looked. There's some, I wish I had a few more winter peas up here, but deer keep browsing a lot of that off. But that right there looks great. All the way down here, you can see a wad of turnips down here. I tried to create a pocket of heavy decaying biomass right there that goes quickly, because that spot has always grown very poorly from the start, and then it kind of comes on stronger later. Can't complain though. This should be probably in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 feet tall. This spot here is behind my other 2 sections, so I don't really expect 6-foot growth out of this. But overall, plot is flat out exploding, and this is going to be a lot of new soil. Can't wait to make it either. So there you go, guys. Plot update in the books for spring of 2024, and things look fabulous. You all have a great day, and I hope this motivates you.